Sounds good. Sounds good. Oh man. All right. Let me do a couple things while I'm waiting for y'all to come in. There we go. I hate that they moved the pages thing. I'm not a fan of that at all. See, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Yes, you can. Turn it up just a bit though. All right, y'all. Let's start the episode. Today, we're going to be talking about manifesting. We're talking about manifesting, how to manifest. Turn me down. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about how to manifest. Basically, what type of mindset you must adopt to be able to manifest the things you want out of life. So, we're definitely going to get into that today. Definitely gonna get into that today. As you come in, make sure you're in the comment section. Say what's up as you drop in, please. I mean, that's very important. Yeah, we don't need the limiter. All right, let me set one more thing up, y'all. One more thing. I want to put a noise gate on here. This comes from being in the world of mixing and mastering. How it sounds. All right, everything sounds pretty good. Let me see if everything took. Yes, it did. All right, cool. I got my compressor on here, and I got a noise gate to block out any noise. And let me turn my mic up. Period. Let's go. All right, now let me turn me down on the other side. All right, y'all. My bad. This was I usually don't take y'all through all the rigmarole with me, but why not? I mean, as I get more comfortable with the show, y'all gonna see slightly more off the cuff things going on because I don't really, I'm not here to necessarily care exactly I'm just here to get the information out to y'all. So, of course, I'm always going to try to present it in the most professionally or professionalized way that I possibly can. But if I get on here and off the fly there's a technical difficulty or I see there's adjustments that I have to make inside of my audio, then that's just what I have to do. And I do appreciate you for bearing with me. As I grow, the audience will grow and you'll see a lot less technical difficulties. One of the things is I got to start coming on here probably at least 40 minutes before, prior, to really check my audio and really make sure everything's cool. Because I'll shut this thing down. I do OBS. Yeah, I mean, I do my podcast once a week. So even when y'all hear me go live or you see me posting other videos, most of the time I'm doing that stuff off of my cell phone. But when I go live on Sundays to do the Ethers World podcast, that's where we get into my OBS software. That's the software that I use to run it. And from week to week, my settings are supposed to save, but as we know with technology, don't always work out like that. So let's get straight into today's episode. Being grateful. Today we're going to talk about how to manifest and how being grateful is actually a huge component. Setting your mind to an attitude of gratitude is a huge component if you want to begin to manifest and bring things into your reality. So we're going to watch the intro, and right after that, y'all know what it is. I'm going to close this curtain because that bright light is getting on my nerves. So we'll watch the intro, and then we'll get straight into the episode. This is episode 8, maintaining an attitude of gratitude while you manifest. Get straight into it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm going live. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Right, I'm going live. Ether's world. Ether's world. Ether's world. Sit down with your girl. Ether's world. Ether's world. Ether's world. Sit down with your girl. Sit down with your girl and just relax. Just put it on the table while I'm showing y'all these stats. Facts. Stand tall, never laying on my back. No, then I spit the truth and in the comments y'all react. Y'all react. Trending topics, we got options. We gon' learn and we gon' pop shit. All the shit that's going on around us, damn, it's never stopping. Give you what you want. No, I give you what you need. Sit down at the table, take a seat. It's time to eat. Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm going live. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yes, it is. It's a vibe. Right, I'm going live. Ether's world. Ether's world. Ether's world. Sit down with your girl. Ether's world. Yeah, that's me. Ether's world. Ether's world. What? Sit down with your girl. Go grab a drink. Get real comfy. Sit down. All right, fam. Let's get straight into it. Maintaining an attitude of gratitude. What does that mean? How is it done? And why? Why does that mean anything? Why is that going to help you manifest? All right, it's really simple. This one's not going to be super long, y'all. This is really simple. This is off the cuff. This is based upon my own reality, based upon things that I've learned along the way. Let me move this lamp, y'all. Because now. Something I usually do before the podcast, but I was on the phone. Let me do a little off the cuff. All right, much better, much better. That's probably going to be the new position for my lamp, so I'm going to keep moving it every week. All right, so, all right. So, what are we talking about here? Why is it important to maintain an attitude of gratitude when we're talking about manifesting the things that we want to come into our lives? It's very simple. Now, this is all dependent, I guess, upon what your belief is. It doesn't really matter if you believe in Jesus Christ, if you believe in the traditional sense of God, where they just call him God, if you believe in Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever you want to believe in, whatever you subscribe in. If we're asking for, even if it's just your spirit guides, whatever it is, if we're asking for certain blessings to be bestowed upon us, but we're showing that we're not necessarily appreciative of the things we already have in our life, whether they be huge things or things that to you may be considered minuscule, small things. I mean, it's like, what would be the incentive of actually giving that person more? So you got to look at it on your terms. Like, if you granted someone with something, let's say someone asked you for $100. They needed to pay their rent, whatever. They needed $100 for something. They wanted to go out. They wanted to get a pair of shoes for some Jordans. Your kid, whoever it is, asked you for $100. You give them the $100, and when they take the $100, they're like, it's not no big deal for real. Or, I could have got this from anywhere. Or they just show an attitude of non-gratitude. Are you really going to feel good about giving them that money? Are you going to feel excited about granting them anything else? Probably not. So that's the same way we got to look at it with the universe and with other people. Like, at the end of the day, if anyone does anything for you, you need to be showing a high level of gratitude. You don't got to kiss butt. I mean, you don't got to do nothing crazy. But to show gratitude is to show that you're appreciative of what has happened. I mean, you're appreciative of this transaction that just went down. So that's the number one reason. At the end of the day, if you're not showing that you're grateful for the things that you already have in your life, you're giving no incentive for the Most High, for Spirit, for anyone, the universe, to start making moves to give you even more. Now, I'm going to let you know one of the things that I do to make sure I'm always in the attitude of gratitude. And for everyone, it may be different, but if you're young, black in America, you've been here. We've all been in this situation. But that's remembering where I come from. Now, why I say young, black in America, you've been here. Because most of us were not born with silver spoons in our mouths. Most of us weren't born in Buckingham Palace. We weren't born with, a lot of, and I'm not saying that's for any other race. All of y'all was born that way, but I'm just saying that we know for a fact that 99% of African Americans got a particular lifestyle. We were born and we've been systematically held at a certain status. So because of that, we've been at that status, right? So at the end of the day, one thing that we can do from this experience is we can always take from moments where times have been worse. I mean, no matter where I'm at in life, especially right now, I could be in a situation I have been, and I just came out of situations where things looked bleak. I mean, y'all probably wouldn't be able to tell because the way I move spiritually now is at such a high level, because even when things are looking rocky, when things are looking like they may not be going the way I want them to go, they're not going as planned, I can always think about where I came from and have a huge level of gratitude, a huge attitude of gratitude for that. So at the end of the day, no matter what, I can always look up and be like, well, I'm grateful for the roof over my head right now. Like, bunk everything else, forget everything else is going wrong. Right now, I'm in the crib. It's usually 90 degrees outside in the summertime. I got air conditioning on. I'm geeked. I mean, I'm just literally, if things are going wrong or a way you may not want them to go, it's all about your perspective. Your perspective is all about what you literally choose to pay attention to. So I used to be someone that would let life and situations just really pile up, beat me up, and gang up on me. And it would take so much of my attention. But now, if there are certain things in my life that aren't going a certain way that I like them to go, then I literally place my attention somewhere else. Like, especially if I've done all I can do. A lot of times this will come into play when it comes to, like, when you're dealing with other people, whether it be relationships, whether it be business partnerships. If you feel like you've done all you can do to get a certain result, and that result's not happening, instead of me really, just being disappointed, like, oh, it never happened the way I wanted it to. Goodness gracious, why? Why? Instead of that, just place your attention somewhere else. Something that will reap you better, more positive results. Something where you can pour positive energy into it. I mean, so, like I said, your perspective is really your choice. A lot of times we beat up on ourselves by looking at things that we shouldn't even be paying attention to. Because what are we paying attention to? Something that doesn't serve our highest good for? If it's something that brings down our energy, something that makes us want to go to bed early, something that makes us unmotivated, then I definitely say don't pay attention to that. Like, ignore that, cut that, cancel that. You know what I mean? You got to cut it, period. So at the end of the day, that's the main point, is it's super ungrateful to not show gratitude for the things that you already have. And at any level of your life, let's say everything was to go completely to shit and you really ended up on the streets with just a tin can. You know what I mean? That's it. There's people living that reality right now as well. So let's not act like that's not a reality that don't exist. So let's say everything goes to shit and that's where you land. You always still have something to be grateful for. That's the great thing about life. But it's all about your perspective. I know if something like that happens to me, even if the only thing that I have to latch onto is just the fact that I'm breathing, that's what I'm latching onto. Like, there's been many times where I've been in situations that have been so bad where the only thing I could latch onto was just the fact that I'm even here. Like, oh, well, shit. At the end of the day, like, we're gonna figure this out. I thank you for even putting me here, though, to have a chance to figure it out. You know what I mean? Charlie Wilson, he's a good example, especially when we talk about homelessness, stuff like that. Charlie Wilson's from the Gap Band. I've been banging the Gap Band lately. Like, yo, his voice dope. In the Gap Band, a freaking, yo, he killed that shit. His songs, dope. So the Gap Band was, mwah, they was on point. But later on, yeah, I mean, the sound of music changed. People basically moved on from that sound, as what we definitely see happen a lot of times in our music. And it's the sound changes, so people stop buying those old records. You stop getting asked to come out to perform, so the money slows up. So this put Charlie Wilson in a situation where he's now homeless. At the end of the day, Charlie Wilson, he got, this was a love shot where he found someone, or someone found him, I should say, that remembered exactly who he was, all the great things that he did in life, and boosted him back up. So Charlie Wilson, really, I don't know if he was thinking positive through this time. I don't really know about his mental through this. You have to go back and watch his interviews on it. I don't really know. But what I can say from that story is that is an example of it ain't over until it's over. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. So even if you're down on your last dollar, your last penny, your last bit of hope, just the fact that you got breath that you can breathe in and out, you better thank someone for that shit. You know what I mean? You better be thankful for it, because that's the one thing that can change everything. The fact that you're still here, that means you still got time. That means you can still make changes. That means you can still bob, weave, make adjustments to be where you ultimately want to be. All right? So blessings, they come from recognizing what you already have. Another thing is, when you recognize what you already have, and why they say blessings come from this. Damn, this is annoying me. There we go. Alright, so when you recognize what you already have, and they say blessings come from doing so, it allows you to pinpoint. Like, it's to the point, y'all, I can tell when I'm about to get blessed. I know the feeling of it, because I've already recognized and appreciated other blessings that came into my life. I mean, I'm very in depth. I'm very deep when it comes to spirit. So I'm very in depth when it comes to the energies that are shifting around me. So I can tell when a different energy is clearing out and a new energy is moving in. So it also allows me to kind of already know what it is. Like before the manifestation gets here, I'm already thankful for it because I've already been able to pay. I've done it numerous times before, so I know how it's done. And I can also recognize the signs because I am someone who appreciates all blessings. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, I could go outside, and I'm on the bus right now. I don't got my license, right? So I could go outside, hop on a bus, and the bus driver, I don't know, let's say, oh, this happens often because we got to connect cards. So I could hop on the bus, and for the whole week, the connect card thing's not working. You know what I mean? Now, as long as I didn't waste my bread, or even if I did, if I wasted my bread on a bus card, then I'm calling the bus company like, yeah, the connect card wasn't working. I'm not paying for this. You know what I mean? Just make sure you throw it on for next week. But what I'm saying is that I'm counting those days as blessings. Very small. The bus only costs $2.75 each way. It's like a $5.25 a day blessing, but it's not being like shitted on. You know what I mean? I'm not just overlooking it like, oh yeah, whatever. That's just 525. Like, no, I'm like, thank you, Most High. That's what's up. 525 saved. And a lot of times, when I go into like you got to become childlike with this manifestation thing. A lot of us are so hard up. We're so let me just call it for what it is. We're desperate. A lot of adults are desperate. They're desperate for a couple reasons. They're desperate because they don't want their best years to be behind them. They're desperate because I think now in 2022 era and beyond, we got this social media presence going on, so everyone can kind of keep up with what's going on. So people are desperate because they don't want John to feel like they're not doing enough. Yeah, you know what I mean? They don't want Jim from high school to look at down on them. So you're seeing a lot of people acting out of desperate, you know what I mean, tendencies, right? Feel me? So at the end of the day, if you're acting out of desperation, you can't be in your childlike energy to manifest. Children are playful. They're not desperate spirits. They're not desperate souls. They're not being desperate is literally like being the creature at the bottom of Ursula's pit. You know what I mean? That's literally what those people are. They went to Ursula. You poor unfortunate souls. It's sad but true. This one longing to be thinner. This one wants to get the girl, and do I help them? Yes, I do. These poor unfortunate souls, because they came to her in states of desperation, and they were willing to sign that paper, just like Ariel's goofy butt was, because they were desperate for what they wanted. So when we're operating out of states of desperation, that's the lowest frequency you could ever try to manifest something from. You're never going to get nothing. And whatever you think you're getting, you're going to get even if it comes in the gold, in a golden package, it's going to be, once you peel back, you know what I mean? It's like the golden chocolate. Like, yeah, it's gold on the outside, but it's not a real gold coin. You know what I mean? You know them gold coins get in the bags, but once you peel it off, yeah, the chocolate's good, but wouldn't you rather have a gold coin? Feel me? So desperation, that's what that does. Now, when you start to gain that innocence, that childlike energy, you start to really, first of all, taking steps to heal your inner child, to heal the things that you've gone through, which means you're addressing them honestly, really seeing like, where are the things that are still affecting me today? How can I forgive those who have caused them and moved on? So you begin to do shadow work on yourself, healing yourself, and it allows you to step into that childlike energy to where you're just out here. You're kind of just enjoying the game of life. You're definitely not desperate, and you're definitely not really, like every day I get up, I do what I have to do. As far as my post, if I'm gonna go out and make some money, I go do that. I go do, whatever I have to do to get the results I need, but I'm not attached to any of the results. I'm not really attached to anything that happens. It allows me to have a lot more of a free spirit as I operate throughout my day. So when we talk about appreciating the small blessings in life, if I get on the bus and the bus is free, that's a small blessing. I mean, but just like a kid, when they're walking down the street and they see a penny, find a penny, pick it up, or they find a quarter. Look, Mom, I got a quarter. It's all $1. Like if you're an adult and you find $1, do you get that ecstatic? I do. If I'm walking down the street and I find $1 bill, I'm like, oh! And guess what that does? It allows me to find a lot of things when I'm on the street. Like I found hundreds of dollars before. One time, I walked right out of my fucking door and found like $150. But it's because of the gratitude I give when I found, look, a penny. Now I'm not just picking up pennies off the ground, but if I see a shiny, super brand new penny on the ground that look like it belong in a penny loafer right now, I'm picking it up because it's shiny, and I'm like, oh shit, look at this shiny penny. That child energy. If I see $1, I'm like, oh, dollar, rich bitch, right? Child energy. But what that does is it signals off to the universe, like, look, this person is super grateful about like the real small things. Let's see what happens if we do something big. You know what I mean? Like it makes. I think we. It's a game. You know what I mean? It's a game. I think we don't understand that the ones, whatever you subscribe to, whether it's God, Most High, whatever it is, they're a part of this too. Like they're a part of the journey. They're a part of the game. It's reciprocal energy. They give. They want to get something. Now, they're intangible. You can't give them a gift back. If spirit gifts you with a new job or gifts you with a new car, you can't give spirit a new car or a new job back. So the only way you can really gift them back is with your show and your attitude. You know what I mean? So they get very excited when they see that the things that they're gifting you with, which is ultimately the things you ask for, that you actually appreciate those things and that you really appreciate them. You know what I mean? So I'll be into like my first year. Everyone who knows me knows I was in a situation that I hated as far as my living situation, and I moved. And even right now, like if you look at my crib, very blank. I haven't really done much to this crib because I made it a point to like I don't need to. Like I'm so geeked to be like before when I bought cribs, different scenario. Like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm getting this, I'm setting this up. Let's do this to make sure everything's perfect. This round it was like, nah, yo, I don't give a. As long as I got my studio equipment, which I actually had to upgrade it since I've been here. Yeah, I mean, but as long as I can make my music, and as long as I have a roof over my head, then I'm blessed. And every day through this whole year, I've woken up, looked around, and said, thank you, thank you. It's never been, gone. So it's not about feeling blessed the first week I got my credit, the first month, the first 2 months. No, it's like to this day, I still have a very similar feeling about my house that I had the very first day I moved in it. And I'll still have that next year. Next year, I'll probably have it even more because I'm going to start filling it up, kind of doing what I want to do with it now. But at the end of the day, it's about not letting that attitude of gratitude dissipate after it's almost like good sex. You know what I mean? Like with a chick or a dude, like, okay, once the sex is over, I'm tossing it. So once you're done with the toy that the universe Most High gave you after a month, you're like, yeah, it's just hair. I don't really pay attention to it. No. I mean, you can, but that's not showing the attitude of gratitude. That's not showing that you appreciate the things that are coming into your life. So this one, like I said, going to be a short one. But if you really want to keep up on your manifestations, you have to appreciate the things that you already have. You have to learn to appreciate the things you already have. That's one of the main things. There's other things, but that's a biggie. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people wallow in what they don't have every day. And when you do that, you're like pretty much pooping on the Most High. You know what I mean? If you keep wallowing on what you don't have. So, one tip before we get out of here: anytime in the future, once you see this, because remember I said perspective is on you. Your choice on what you want to think about. Your choice what you want to focus on. So, from the moment that you see this video on in the future, anytime you start to get negative thoughts, start to think about, damn, I don't have this, I don't have that, start to redirect immediately. As soon as you start to feel yourself thinking like that, redirect those thoughts like, wait a minute, but I'm thankful I got this, but I'm thankful I got that. Guess what that does? It'll even allow you to get what you said you don't have. Like, at the end of the day, when I say, if I'm redirecting my thoughts, if I catch myself like, damn, I wish I had a better gig, I wish I had a better job, If I catch myself in that, or no, not I wish, no, if I say, damn, I don't have a good job, you know what I mean, wallowing on that, damn, I need more money, right? That's just it. But if I redirect my thoughts to go ahead and then say, like, damn, no, don't say that. I'm happy I got my brain. I'm happy because I'll do it like on the same subject. You know what I mean? So if I'm wallowing about a gig, I'll be like, well, I'm happy I got a brain to create my own gig. I'm happy I have a mind to help. And then spirit will start tapping into that. Like, yeah, that's right. Don't wallow on what you don't got. Wallow on what you do have so we can bring that into you. So kind of basically uh, equal out. I mean, it'll basically wipe out what you don't have. It will make that shit so irrelevant because you're paying attention to things that you do have. Going to bring more and more an abundance of those things into you to the point the thing that you don't have will be irrelevant or you'll end up having it just because. All right. So that was today's episode. You got to be grateful to gain. You can't be walking around here all sour lip thinking the world owes you anything, thinking the Most High owes you anything. You get what you get until you don't get that shit no more. You know what I mean? Until you make the moves to get something better. And that's something I had to learn too. I'm someone that can definitely get down in the dumps. I've been there. But remember, if no matter how far down you are, because I'm going to be talking to people like all across the world. I got different people tuning in right now. So no matter where you're at in the social ranking or in the economic status in comparison to other people in your age group or your nationality or your race, whatever, no matter where you're at, the one thing you can always be grateful for is the fact that you're breathing. Why? Because like I said, the fact that you're still breathing means you got time. You got all the time in the world to make something else happen. Feel me? You got time to make things shake. So if you can't be grateful for anything else, at least be grateful that you're on the planet in the first place. Girl Jen Ether, watch another episode of Ether's World. Out. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm going live. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Right, I'm going live. Ether's world. Ether's world. Ether's world. Sit down with your girl. Ether's world. Ether's world. Ether's world. Sit down with your girl. Sit down with your girl and just relax. Just put it on the table while I'm showing y'all these stats. Facts. Stand tall, never laying on my back. No, and I spit the truth and in the comments y'all react. Y'all react. Trending topics, we got options. We gon' learn and we gon' pop shit. All the shit that's going on around us, damn, it's never stopping. Give you what you want. No, I give you what you need. Sit down at the table, take a seat. It's time to eat. Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm going live. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yes, it is. It's a vibe. Right, I'm going